British public. Shame! Instead of listening to the British public and enforcing an arms embargo, instead of calling for an immediate end to the genocide and using their diplomatic leverage to lift the siege on Gaza, the Foreign Secretary, David Lammy, whose offices are behind us, announced the sham recognition of the Palestinian state to avoid taking a real stance on Gaza and to give the green light to the Zionist entity to continue their expansionist project in Gaza. Shame! Shame! David Lammy to the Hague! Labour Party to the Hague! Labour Party to the Hague!
Lammy, Lammy, Lammy!
Ow, ow, ow!
Right, so I only have 5 minutes on the mic, but I'd probably need 5 hours to expose all the lies that David Lammy has done over the last 25 years of him being an MP of Tottenham. David Lammy has used the people of Tottenham. He's used you, he's used me, he's used all of us to secure his own individual power and wealth at our expense. Whether it's voting to cut PIP payments to disabled people, or he did that, we forget, or voting to cut winter fuel allowance to the most elderly people in this country. It is evident that Lammy is not going to change. So that means we have to change. We cannot continue to vote for a fraudulent, megalomaniac genocider. We must remember a vote for Lammy is a vote for austerity. A vote for Lammy is a vote for the violent and corrupt Met Police. A vote for Lammy is a vote for bombing refugee camps. A vote for Lammy is a vote for Netanyahu. A vote for Lammy is a vote for genocide.
My name's Cleo, we're from the newly formed group Tottenham versus Lammy, and our aim is to either force Lammy's resignation or unseat him in the 2029 election. We've come down today because of the genocide happening in Israel and Labour's complicity in it. For the siege on the Labour Party, it's completely unacceptable what's been happening, obviously. And our group, it wants to put as much pressure on David Lammy individually as our MP and on the Labour Party to end this and to force aid into Gaza. The recognition of a Palestinian state is not enough. It's like lip service. Well, our aim is to get 15,000 signatures to our petition because that's his majority in this constituency, because then we can put the fear of God into him and show to him we can unseat you because we've managed to get 15,000 signatures, and that would be enough to get you out. He takes his seat completely for granted. He takes his constituents for granted. The future of politics and like UK politics, I want Labour out. They do not represent us. They're Tories in disguise, they're incredibly right-wing. We need a genuinely and viable left-wing alternative, and our aim as a group would be to promote and host community hustings locally where the people would get to choose their candidates. David Lammy's never had a hustings, he's been the MP here for 25 years, and yeah, we want a left-wing candidate, but we're not backing any party as of yet.
Hi, I'm Massa from the Palestinian Youth Movement. We're a transnational organisation of Arab youth in the diaspora. We fight for the liberation of our homelands, for imperialism and Zionism, especially in the imperial core. And we're the British chapter. Today we actually declared a national day of action under the banner of Siege on Labour, and it was specifically against the Labour Party's material complicity in the genocide. We saw Keir Starmer recently, last week, announced that he's considering the recognition of the Palestinian state. This is a mere distraction when the Labour Party has material complicity in the genocide. We have 4 demands. The first demand is a 2-way arms embargo in Israel. The second demand is for no more reconnaissance surveillance flights over Gaza, which have been flying since the start of the genocide, providing intelligence to the Israeli occupation forces. The third demand is for David Lammy to resign. And the fourth demand is for the UK government to use all levers of power in the United Nations, including the use of sanctions, to force Israel to allow aid into Gaza, because the situation in Gaza, the famine, has reached a breaking point. The reason we chose this location actually is because David Lammy recently relocated his offices. The Labour Party is hiding from its constituencies all over the country. We know in Manchester, Angela Rayner's office is also hidden in a market hall. Here, the Labour Party hasn't even disclosed its offices to its own constituencies. David Lammy hasn't been showing up to surgeries, hasn't been showing up to speak up for his constituencies, and yet he has time for foreign wars, for brutal foreign policy.
1, 2, 3, 4. Occupation no more.
I would tell everyone to get organised at the local level. We're the Palestinian Youth Movement, but we also today were joined by so many incredible local organisers from Haringey and Tottenham for Palestine, from Haringey Justice for Palestinians. There's groups like this all over the country. And those are the groups that are actually bringing their communities out, that have declared the siege on Labour all over the country. So if people care, if people are overwhelmed by the heartache and the pain, they need to challenge that into organised action to take power.